Bitcoin or altcoins? What is going to make you the most money in 2024? We're going to discuss that on today's show. ETF's supposed to go live today, no tomorrow, no yesterday, no next day. It's not live yet. We're going to talk about that. A new commercial from Hashtags. Also, we got news from Solana and Jupiter, one of the most anticipated airdrops ever. What should you do if you want exposure to the Jupiter token? Also, Polygon has teased a new big partnership. We're going to discuss that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's get into it.
Your boy Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way. And ETF, not yet, almost here. Rumors are flying.
Should have watched the show on Wednesday. You would have gotten all the alpha.
Man, that was a great show. Is today gonna be better?
Today's going to be better. You know why today's going to be better?
What is the over-under on ETF going live while we're live?
0.
Okay.
Well, it's not an over-under.
I like the
spirit,
positive
yeah.
sentiment. I actually put it at a 5% chance.
Wow, you're such an optimist.
I am.
You know, if you watch our show, there's only one show out of the week where we have a third co-host, and that is Fridays with our friend Forrest. Forrest, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, man, thank you so much
Always
for joining
pleasure.
us. Happy New Year. It's our first show together in 2024. We said see you next year, and well, here we are. It's next year. Okay, that joke is done.
Wow. Wow.
Forrest,
Wow.
today's show, altcoins or Bitcoin? What's going to make you the most money in 2024? I know what this guy's going to do. The guy in the white.
This has been an ongoing argument for a
Forrest,
week now.
I'm curious what you're going to say, but I do want to share one piece of insight here. Okay, this is Bitcoin versus the altcoins. Okay, Bitcoin is in, where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's in orange, and altcoins is in the candles. So Bitcoin is overtaking altcoins as we speak, although altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin since August of 2022. You think this trend continues, or do you think with the ETF news, institutions piling in, the longer time horizon investor, they're gonna catapult Bitcoin, and altcoins are gonna have to take a backseat for just 1 year? What are your thoughts? Forrest, let's start with you first.
Yeah, I mean, so look, if you're looking at altcoins as an entire bucket and just like spraying and praying into a basket of altcoins, but altcoins have vastly outperformed Bitcoin and will continue to outperform Bitcoin if you are good at selecting certain altcoins, right? You got like, say, up 600 or 700% from its lows. Solana up 600 or 700% from its lows as well. Actually, over 1,000%. It was at $8, and now it's at $100. So yeah, obviously, if you spray and pray, you're gonna probably perform, with the market. But if you manage a portfolio and you pay attention to news and you do a little bit of research and you pick solid, high performing assets, high performing altcoins, I don't think it's extraordinarily difficult to outperform Bitcoin. But if you're looking for something more passive and you're just like, Bitcoin ETF coming up, over the long term, I don't know what's going to happen in the short term with Bitcoin's price, but over the long term, this is obviously very bullish for Bitcoin. And you just want to hodl and you don't want to be trading in and out or worrying about altcoins or doing research. Yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin will probably perform really well.
I'm just going to go down the list here. I'm just going to go down the list. Is Ethereum going to outperform Bitcoin in 2024? Just 2024. Ethereum, will it outperform Bitcoin? Yes or no? No. Solana.
That's a big change for me.
Solana is already 12x. Do you think it's going to outperform Bitcoin in 2024?
Yes.
XRP.
No.
Cardano.
Yes.
Okay. Last one, Avalanche.
Ooh. Yes.
Okay. So you think a majority of the top 10 is going to outperform Bitcoin. Robin, what about you? We know you think Ethereum is going to hit 100,000 this year, right? Whatever that crazy number was. This dude, Forrest, listen to this. This dude said by 2026, ETH will be at 40K. Don't.
Could be
Fork.
possible. I mean, yeah, I'm just not as bullish on ETH as I used to be. With some of these other networks coming online, 40K would be hard.
Well,
10K by the end of 2024, 2025 is probably realistic.
Cue the Robin Ethereum rage. Robin, go ahead.
Oh boy. So what were my options?
I asked him if Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin this year. He said no. What do you say? Yes. Solana, he said yes. You say?
Okay, what was the other one? So let me think about them as we go.
XRP,
Okay.
Cardano, and Avalanche.
Okay.
What a ball. Got it right there.
You're an idiot, dude.
How do y'all not? Where have y'all been? Have you not been in crypto throughout a bull market? Bitcoin moves, everything else rallies, massive gains in alts, especially in the layer ones. XRP,
But you have
XRP was number 2.
The answer is in your own statement. Bitcoin moves, right?
Yes.
Bitcoin has to
And
move.
it gets outperformed by the altcoins. Profits pour over, man.
We're talking about 2024.
Yes.
If this conversation was, hey, 2025, yes, I would say altcoins.
What?
2024.
You don't think we're going to be in a massive bull market this year?
Yes, that Bitcoin is going to have vast majority of the liquidity
Oh.
coming in.
Altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin, okay? That's it. XRP was number 2 in coin market cap, or in its
XRP's
market cap
tokenomics are
in
garbage.
2000, late 2017. And then Ethereum went from $100 to $4,000 in the last bull market from bottom to top. I mean, Cardano was 5 cents, went up to $2.50. What is Bitcoin going to get? A 2-3x? Maybe a 4-5 this year? Come on, man.
Let me ask you guys this.
I just look at history, man.
You guys are both incorrect, okay? We spend so much time on this damn show talking about all the money that's going to flood in. Do you think the amount of money that's going to come in from institutions will be more or less than the money currently circulating in the crypto markets today? Which will be more? Money currently circulating or the money that's about to come in? Forrest?
I think the money that's going to come in is actually going to be less in 2024 alone.
Yes.
I think it'll be less than what's already here. I do think it'll be big, and I am very bullish on this. The long-term effects of this ETF and traditional finance money coming in. But I do think I'm of the opinion that it's going to take some time. I don't think it's going to be like we blink and like $100 billion comes into Bitcoin overnight. I think it's going to be like
as money comes in. So this new money is going to acquire a smaller percentage of Bitcoin. Just to use Bitcoin as an analogy here. New money is going to come in. It's going to acquire a smaller amount of Bitcoin than already is in circulation. But because there's going to be a supply and demand imbalance, right? Because there's only so much Bitcoin being mined, and there's a large demand for Bitcoin, especially it being traded on the stock exchange, ETF. The small amount of Bitcoin that is in circulation on exchanges, the prices are going to rally, right? It's going to be harder for exchanges to buy large amounts of Bitcoin because there's a supply shock. And so the prices are going to catapult for the new people coming in and buying. But everybody that currently holds, the other millions of Bitcoin currently in the market, the value is going to multiply exponentially. And so anybody that has a Bitcoin position that's in crypto is going to be sitting on massive profits. And so on one hand, if you say, where's there going to be more money coming in? Now, the market cap itself, so if we go from $0.6 trillion to $6 trillion for Bitcoin, for example, $6 trillion didn't come in. It's not like institutions paid $6 trillion. They just, because of supply and demand shock, the prices of Bitcoin started going up, and the other 80-90% of the holders have increased their value because of the going rate for Bitcoin. And so, sure, $6 trillion will come in as far as market cap valuation, but the majority of the holders that are in crypto right now are going to be the ones that are sitting on those profits. And so, yes, money will come in, but the holders are the ones that are going to realize all of that profits and all those gains, not the institutions. And just to circle back on this altcoin thing, I mean, you got all of this community and degens that are going to be sitting on millions of dollars profit, and then you know what crypto degens do.
No. How many damn portfolios do we rate on this show where people barely have any Bitcoin? It's always alts. So what profit are they taking from?
I hate to say it, but the super degen 100% Bitcoin maximalists, they don't watch our show. They don't want to know what the next.
So you think the
is.
maxis are going to take profits from Bitcoin and put it into shitcoin?
Well, I think at some point when they're sitting on some Lambo money, when they're sitting on massive capital, they're
literally talking out of both sides of your mouth. One side you're saying the maxis, they're going to realize profits. Those maxis,
both sides of my mouth work, man. The left and the right. I don't understand what the problem is here.
I swear to God. You guys are playing with fire here. I cannot believe that you two are underplaying the value of Bitcoin's having and the amount of money that's about to come in from the institutions, from the public, from the people. The generation that's got $70 trillion, they're now going to have access to Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not XRP, not Cardano, now not Avalanche. And they're not going to want to. And their time horizon is 10, 20, 30 years. So they're not going to see Bitcoin go to 100K, take profits, and then put it in some Doge or SHIB or whatever new meme coin there is. They're going to hold it in Bitcoin because they're like, hey, this is an asset class that we are going to invest in and stay invested in for a long period of time. So I'm sorry, guys, but 2024 is the year of Bitcoin. Sure. Will there be some smaller altcoins that outperform BTC? Yes. But for the top 10, the only one I could think of maybe outperforming Bitcoin is Cardano. And that is because it has been a slow mover. And when it moves. It's like 4 or 5X is like immediately. But for the most part, it's going to be Bitcoin, guys. I do want to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, CAMS, Blue Wire Technology. If you run a business and want to maximize your networking, IT, and your cybersecurity, there is one company to call, and that is CAMS Blue Wire Tech. Visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Also want to give a big shout out to Crypto Pitbull. Started off the show by gifting 1 Sin City membership. So thank you for that, my friend. We appreciate all the support. And all of you members, we appreciate your support. And we support you by giving you early access to all of our videos. And if you're a Caspa fan, you're going to want to watch today's video.
Also, we do have a few new people here in the chat. If you are new, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have JC, hit the like button, which is the name. We also have Matt the Mailman, Mark D, S. Irvin, Daniel Williams, Zanib, and M with a lot of letters. I apologize, I can't pronounce it. Crypto Remora as well, and George's Baz. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, do us a favor, smash that like button.
Did you say M with a lot of N's?
It's MIHIRSHINH.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude, man.
That's easy, man.
I just don't got that right now, man. I'm going to do some little research on how to say that. We do got a less than 50% like ratio. So let's get that thing going. 80 likes, let's get over 100. And then... that's all I got.
Okay, thank you.
For sure.
Guys,
we're looking for our next whale member. Big shout out to Crypto. Crypto. What was it? Crypto Dog. No, Dog. Crypto. It's in the credit.
How do you not know our whale member? Come on, man. I don't either though. So, sorry. Guys. So Irvin said, I just came in. Is a spot ETF approved? No, it's not. If you watched our show on Wednesday, you would have known it's not going to get approved today. But this piece of news: Van Eck pledges to donate 5% of the spot Bitcoin ETF profits to support Bitcoin core devs for 10 plus years. We had this is what's been going on Twitter. Just people retweeting each other. Mario Nafal, multiple spot ETFs will be approved. And then this guy retweets it. And then Wendy O retweets it. And then TMG retweets it.
Hold on.
Don't retweet it. Do not retweet it.
Wait. Rock, I'll pull up my laptop. So this one came out here. So just to kind of follow up, you had Martini. So Rand says Martini guy says that Crypto Indio said that Tyler said that Mario said that he heard that the source, the multiple ETFs would be approved. Right from the source here. Gary Gensler told me yesterday at a backyard barbecue, it's a done deal.
Wow.
It's official. Go ahead, mail it, print it. Let's do it. Also, big news here. New $1 bill issued by the Fed here. This will be circulating this year, apparently, sometime in Q3. So, pick up your new $1
$10 bill that identifies as a.
It does identify. Well, kind of looks like George Washington with the maybe the keto diet going on or something. But
that's a George Gensler.
I want to give a shout out. We have 2 of our community members in studio hanging out with us. If you're ever in Las Vegas and you want to come check out a show live in studio, please reach out to us. We would be honored to host you in studio. So big thank you to Mario and Scott. So big shout out to you guys. All right, let's take a look at the new Bitcoin commercial from Hashtags. And Forrest, have you seen this one? The new Hashtags one?
No, I haven't.
I got you, bro.
I don't think so.
Say less. Say less.
Are they paying?
Cash or credit?
What? The home of the Whopper is offering cash or credit.
I think it's pretty bad if you have to use a credit card when you go to a fast food restaurant.
All y'all girls standing together like that. Keep taking.
I like the Hashtags ones. They're kind of simple. They kind of reminds me of the Larry David FTX one where he goes back to all the big inventions and how people at the time were like, yeah, it's not going to work but Forrest, ETF approval, right? So we know it's probably not going to happen today, but we know it's around the corner, right? Our friends at Bloomberg say Monday through Wednesday, get approved. He even said once it gets approved, we could see trading live as early as the very next day. What is your strategy for us? What is your trading strategy, if you'd like to share with our community? How are you preparing for when this ETF does go live? What are your expectations? And what are some risk-averse measures you're taking to kind of limit your downside?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, there's going to be when the approval goes through. I can say the one thing that I know with a high degree of certainty is that even if you have alerts on Twitter and you see the announcement, even probably 30 seconds to 60 seconds before that announcement goes live on Twitter, you're going to see a huge candle out of Bitcoin. If you just stare at the chart, I'm not saying anybody should just stare at the 1 minute chart all day long, but you'll see it in the chart probably a minute or two before the announcement circulates on Twitter. And there's gonna be a huge candle up. Why? Because news traders, right? News traders are going to, go and pump in, 10x, 15, 20x leverage, large positions, and that's going to drive the price of Bitcoin up drastically on the actual news announcement. Now, what happens after that is difficult to know with 100% certainty. My base case is that we are going to pump very, very hard into a full retrace, right? So if we're sitting at 45, 44K, I think we will probably pump, who knows how, there's no telling how much liquidity is in the order books and where we'd top out at, but 48, 50, even 59, 60K is on the table for me to see a huge wick up and a large pump in once that approval goes through. I do think that most of that immediate move will very likely be retraced back down. Similar to how when XRP won the lawsuit, right? We saw XRP spike upwards, right? That news came out and then it fully retraced back to reality. It was a news trade. What happens after that? Probably on a long-term time horizon, I think this is bullish for Bitcoin. I do think that the market's especially altcoins, fairly overbought right now to some degree. So we could see a situation where maybe we bleed out a little bit. But I'd be more inclined to see like a huge wick up, a majority retrace and then actually a slower grind upwards as we start to see inflows come in to the Bitcoin ETFs. If the inflows are disappointing, then I think we start seeing a grind downwards until we find some support, and then over time, the net inflows, create. Start to create structural demand for Bitcoin and pushing Bitcoin back up. So I think what I would say to people is don't get too leveraged here. Even if you see the approval, I would say stay away from leverage because volatility is going to be very high. If you want to get liquidated on your trading account, a great way is to just jump in on 10x leverage and then it retraces and you get stopped out or you round trip all your profits. I think spot trading here is the way to go. Me personally, I'm in some delta neutral positions trying to farm yield and farm funding rate. I'm long on Blur, which is a trade that I'm in right now because I just like the chart. It doesn't have anything to do with the Bitcoin ETF, and long on Chainlink because it's at the bottom of its range and I like the chart.
Chainlink looks juicy.
Charts could break down. There's probably been a lot of volatility in long positions getting liquidated before this. You see a lot of people trying to jump in on leverage, and you see those big wicks down in Bitcoin, stopping all those people out, liquidating all those people. So my one piece of advice, my one piece of not financial advice would be, unless you are specifically a news trader, unless you are specifically a scalper, leverage down. Just stay away from leverage here. It's going to be a lot of volatility.
And to your point, when the Newsweek, right, it's going to be all speculation, right? Well, from the speculative people. It's not going to be because institutions are pouring money in. That's going to come at a little bit of a later time, right? Because it's not even live yet. So I agree with you. Proceed with caution because there's going to be people that are going to short the crap out of it. Some people are going to make a lot of money. All right.
I do think that when these go live, you're going to have 11. If they all go live at the same time, is it the number at 11 or is it 12 now?
I believe it's 11 or 12. One of the two.
Either way, you're going to have 11 or 12 billionaire companies. BlackRock's $1 trillion company. And they are going to start. I know they've already seeded, but I'm telling you, the buzz is gonna hit Fox News, CNN. It's gonna be Bloomberg, CNBC. It's there's going to be euphoria.
Numbers 13.
It's up to 13.
13.
There's gonna be euphoria in the traditional markets that there's going to be a product. It would be similar to a very overhyped IPO, right? And for this situation, it's gonna be tons of coverage. These companies are gonna see that there's gonna be a demand, right? There's gonna be all kinds of customers, and the people that they represent gonna be knocking at the door saying, "Hey, I want to get some Bitcoin when this goes live." And I think that they're gonna see that the demand is gonna be there. Maybe they overbuy or they overseed the ETF. But I think that people are going to say, hey, we need to stock the shelves because we're about to open the doors on Black Friday and we don't only have 2 TVs here and there's 1,000 people outside. And so they only have 10 or 15, or say they have 1,000 or 5,000 Bitcoin and there is a demand that looks like they're going to need 20 or 40,000 and they just get approved. I think that immediately the exchanges are going to over leverage themselves and pick up as much Bitcoin as possible, massively shaking up the order books. So if anything, I think when this goes live, it's not gonna be just speculation, just people buying off the news and the price going up. I think that you have companies that have billions of dollars, and they're going to say, hey, let's just pick up a little extra Bitcoin in case this thing really takes off more than expected. You do that times 13 companies? Bro, I'm telling you that the God candle that we're going to get on the price of Bitcoin is going to be
And you
ridiculous.
still think all the top 10 is going to outperform Bitcoin?
Yes! Yes, 100%. We know what happens when Bitcoin goes parabolic. Stage 1 booster comes off. Stage 2 and 3 is the altcoins, man. Have you not been through a bull cycle?
No, never.
Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten what Cardano did last bull market?
Anyways, I really don't want to have this conversation again. I have this this tweet here, and then we'll get into the markets. This was very, very interesting. Ethereum layer 2 TVLs have surpassed all other layer 1s combined. ETH layer 2s, their TVL is more than every other layer 1 combined. And ETH is currently sitting at $2,233. Forrest, can we jump to the charts if you don't mind, my friend? We got Bitcoin holding steady. The dominance has grown to over 51.6%. As the rest of the markets are bleeding, you see everything in the top 10 of the last 7 days is down almost double digits with the exception of XRP and Solana. Bitcoin is still up 3.5% over the last 7 days. Where are we at with BTC? And then as soon as we're done with that, can we jump over to an ETH chart and see what a setup for ETH looks like?
Yeah, certainly. So, all right. Looking at Bitcoin chart here, pretty straightforward. We're just in an ascending triangle with one large deviation where we pumped up, right? And what happened here is, and I think we might have gone over it last week. If we didn't, I think I went over it in my live stream where, Bitcoin started breaking out of this resistance here. And this is an ascending triangle. This is historically, this is a bullish pattern, right? But it's usually not ideal when you see a false breakout and get shoved back into the pattern. We're back trading towards the top of this pattern now, so I'm not bullish or bearish just from a technical chart standpoint, either direction. If I had to pick, I'd say leaning a little bit more bullish, and I think everybody knows that this is, as soon as that ETF goes through, this is going to just jam upwards in a big wick. So, but what happened here was basically this was breaking outwards, and look at these huge candles out of Bitcoin. Funding rate spiked. So basically, funding rate is the mechanism that is used by perpetual or derivative exchanges to peg the price of the perp to the spot price. And in order to do that, they charge funding rate. So the longs had to pay like 100% APY to the shorts, right? So you are very incentivized to short Bitcoin up here. From a monetary funding rate perspective, and you were very disincentivized to go long. It was very, very expensive to carry a long, even for like a week or two going into this Bitcoin ETF approval announcement, right? Now funding rate is reset and we're back in the pattern. You see the demand coming in. People are eating up these Bitcoin dips, but also this is a large amount of this is funding rate getting flushed or leverage getting flushed. So you have a bunch of people trying to prepare for this huge wick up that we're speculating on, right? Our base expectation is that Bitcoin's going to put in a massive candle the second that approval goes through. So what's happening is a lot of people are going long on leverage, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x leverage, right? Trying to load up and get ready for that big wick up, right? And they're buying all these dips, but because they're on leverage, they can get liquidated really easily. So you're seeing the market get pressed down, and these big wicks are indicative of liquidations happening where price, liquidations go through and price slips all the way back down to where the spot orders are. There appears to be a lot of spot demand here around 42, 43, 42 to $42.5 thousand, right? And just pressing us back up into the top of this resistance range. My expectation for Bitcoin is, sometime Monday, Tuesday. And look, these liquidations this is why I'm saying stay away from leverage. We could get more of these wicks downwards. We could see something like that, right? We could run these lows before Monday over the weekend, especially if the stock market, if it doesn't finish well today, and we're almost close. We only have like an hour and a half left. Not too worried about that. It's going to probably close up on the day and maybe be set Bitcoin up for a bullish weekend. But these wicks can happen. We could come all the way back down to 41, 42. And I actually think those are great. I think you want to be a buyer down here. Even everyone worried about being, sell the news event. You're going to see buyers step in my opinion. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is an ETF rejection. But I think that is such a low possibility given all the things that's happened. I mean, that would just be like Gary Gensler and the SEC just really manipulating the market here.
Forrest, we got
false expectations.
Forrest, we got Michael Saylor loading up here. He's selling like $200 million worth of stock to buy personal Bitcoin. Don't worry, man. If we get to 41K, he's going to buy it up to 43.
Yeah, exactly. So if we see these like these leverage flushes, I think you want to be a buyer into that. I think you want to be a buyer anywhere around 42 to 42.5, and look to ride a wick up. Now, what I don't think you want to be, and I'm going to be super clear about this, regardless of your stance on Bitcoin, going into Bitcoin ETF, you could be a buyer. Right, you could have been a buyer at 42, could have been a buyer at 42.5. You could technically still be a buyer at 43.6. When this Bitcoin ETF gets announced on Monday, it could be today, it could be imminently, but it'll probably be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't be the bozo that buys at 49 and then finds yourself back at 45, 46 when all the leveraged longs that jump in take profits and it gets deleveraged again and you get a nasty wick down here. Like if you're gonna buy Bitcoin, like we've known about this ETF for a really long time. Don't be the bozo that faded it at 33, that faded it at 35, that faded it at 42, and then decides to ape in at 48 to 50, and then all of a sudden you're down 10 to 15% on a technical leverage flush. I just like I think that's dumb, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna buy it, just buy the support, right? Do we want to look at Ethereum?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Ethereum performing quite poorly for a couple different reasons, and the reasons are the Bitcoin ETF. A lot of Bitcoin ETF speculation happening. A lot of that money is going into Bitcoin versus Ethereum. You also have the Celsius distributions or liquidations. They're unstaking all their Ethereum, and they're going to distribute Ethereum and Bitcoin. But I think it's much more Ethereum than Bitcoin,
Forrest,
at least in relation to the Ethereum market.
Just to jump in real quick, I think that number is about $440 million in ETH that they're unstaking.
Yeah, so I mean, ETH's been volatile, and there's been some flushes here, and there's obviously demand around 2100, right? We have this huge ascending triangle, right, and we are consolidating above it. If you look at Ethereum, how it's been performing against the rest of the market, including Bitcoin, it's been underperforming, but the general pattern here is still bullish. I mean, this is still bullish consolidation, and we could absolutely break out. And look, the next thing that's going to happen after a Bitcoin ETF goes through is the next speculative thing to speculate on is an Ethereum ETF, right? Which probably won't be until the summer, I think, is what the Bloomberg analyst that came on, said last week. Probably be like June or something. But there's still going to be a lot of people in my opinion, taking profits from some Bitcoin and rotating into Ethereum. Now, I think Bitcoin inflows will be high, but I do think you've got the speculators that are just looking forward to the next thing. And we might see a big ETH rotation. The last chart I want to show you guys is ETH Bitcoin. And let me actually just get that pulled up, right? ETH Bitcoin. This is showing that ETH has just horrendously underperformed Bitcoin for the last, since September of 2022. Right, it's just been bleeding against Bitcoin. It's broken this major trend line here. It's accelerated. We've got this trend line, right, and then we're accelerating. Right, if we break through, I think you could see a big capitulation in ETH Bitcoin and a bottom come in. It could form here, or we could see a big wick down on that Bitcoin ETF. Right, if everybody's piling in to this Bitcoin ETF trade, we could get a wick in ETH Bitcoin all the way down to 0.045 or whatever. And then I think that's where I'm a fan of rotating out of some Bitcoin and into some Ethereum. I do think that this trend will end up reversing. And I also think that this trend generally reverses in a bull market. Right? In a bear market, Bitcoin outperforms Ethereum, but in a bull market, we have seen huge outperformance, right? When was the last halving? May, I believe, May of 2020.
Yeah.
Right? This was May of 2020, the ETH Bitcoin ratio. This was Ethereum's bull market performance against Bitcoin. Ethereum's bull market performance against Bitcoin right here. Right? I think we'll probably get at least a rotation back up to the top of this range in a bull market. I'm not saying it's going to continue to rip higher against Bitcoin, but it is pretty, Ethereum's pretty down and out against Bitcoin right now. I think that is the value trade, is to look for a bottom in ETH Bitcoin, look for these lows to get swept, and maybe switch from ETH to Bitcoin if Bitcoin spikes up and Ethereum lags behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I think that's actually good advice. It's not gonna, unless you think Ethereum's a dead project. It's not gonna continue to go down like it has been, like Forrest mentioned, since what was that, 2022. But again, 2024 is a year of BTC. Robin.
All right, I do want to give a little love to the chat. If you are new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got Edgar Gar, Sakin, SK, Baba, YT, Kevin Nicholas, Bumpy Knuckles, Mark Z, Fernando Sicko, 3 Doc, to all of you. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, smash that like button. Then chat's a little quiet. So what we do normally when y'all are falling asleep is get an hola trade going. So if you're here, you're present, put an hola in the chat. OLA. Let's see if we can get 200 holas in the chat. Yeah, see if we can get this thing spammed out.
Wow. If we take a look at the rest of the markets, just to kind of round this segment out, we have Solana at $98, under $100. To me, under $100 is a good buy long term for Solana. XRP, the stable coin, is at 56.9 cents. Cardano 53 cents. Avalanche at $35. This might not be a bad buy either. Down 11% in the last 7 days. Still up 50, or oh, that just changed pretty quick. Still up 30. What's going on? 51% over the last 30 days. And then Doge rounding out top 10 at 8 whole pennies. I said Solana. Let's talk about Solana. Solana transaction volume hits highest level in more than 1 year as meme coin activity increases. You can see here a chart from the block. Solana value moved on chain. Again, all-time high. And then we have this as well. Jupiter, which Forrest called the best DApp in the entire crypto space. And I'm going to have him explain why. Jupe token of Solana's DeFi platform, Jupiter, predicted as one of the hottest tokens of 2024. Forrest, you are very active, not only in the Solana ecosystem, but in getting airdrops as well. I know you got the Jito airdrop. You've gotten a few other airdrops that you've made a lot of money on. And congrats to you, my friend. That's what happens when you really put your head down and research and work. But I want to ask you, because I'm not going to get an airdrop from Jupiter, but I've seen the platform. It looks dope. I love what it's doing. It's on Solana, which I think is going to explode in 2025. So if I want exposure to a token like Jupiter, who's going to get a massive airdrop, right? What would you recommend? Is it a, hey, when it comes out, might be the lowest valuation, get in now? Is it, hey, typically people that get airdrop money, they're going to take profits, they're going to dump? Or do you think this time is going to be different with so much hype around Jupiter that people are going to get greedy and just hold on to their airdrops, and price will continue just to go up? What recommendation would you give? What would you think?
Yeah, and I think the best way to kind of demonstrate this is to like actually show a chart. This is the Uniswap, right? So like Jupiter's kind of like the Uniswap of Solana. It's, you know, primary DEX, right? So when you have a big, and I'll go to the daily chart. When you have a big airdrop like this, you're putting life-changing money into people's hands. And some people, like initially on day one, there might be a big pump, right? People that just really, really want exposure might come in and buy and push the price up, especially before people can claim and start selling. But then you get this big bleed out, right? This big bleed out. And why does this big bleed out happen? Because people are claiming their airdrop and you're giving them free money. Why would, like some of these Jupiter airdrop, depending on what it comes out at, like pre-market, it's trading at a $7 billion valuation. I know people that are at current valuations. If Jupiter launches at 70 cents, they will have $150,000 to $200,000 in this airdrop. Just holding that and not taking profits is dumb, right? And I don't care how bullish you are on a project. This is, Jupiter's trading almost as high as a fully diluted valuation as Uniswap. So with these airdrop projects, a lot of times they bleed out. So what you want to do is you want to let all the airdroppers sell, unless you're looking to like buy on day one and speculate. I think that's really risky. You want to let all the airdrop, people sell out, right? And you want to wait for demand to actually come in. And you want to pay attention to, when accumulation starts happening. When does this project start? When does the coin start moving sideways and breaking out from an accumulation range? And then you usually get a markup. I'll show you. Aptos was another big airdrop coin. Most coins follow this exact similar pattern. You had like a day one hype pump, everybody claiming the airdrop, bleed out, right? And then as soon as it finds some demand and starts, overtaking this kind of prior, and we had a kind of a deviation down here, but once it kind of overtakes, it starts moving sideways, right? It had one last deviation, it ripped back up to the top of this range, and you get a markup, right? So with these coins, you want to be extraordinarily patient. You mentioned the Jito airdrop. This was traded at a massive valuation, but it's the same exact pattern, right? You had a day one pump, right? A day one, launched day one pump. And what's Jito doing right now? It's just bleeding off as people claim their airdrop and sell and count their losses. Eventually, what I expect to happen, I don't know if it'll happen here or down here. Eventually, it starts moving sideways. And once it breaks out of its accumulation range, you can be a buyer because it'll probably get a big markup once all the sellers are gone. I think the same thing, it happens with just about every airdrop token. I mean, we could go through countless examples. I think Blur is another one on a longer term time frame. I actually like Blur right now quite a bit. But again, early hype and then huge markdown and then some accumulation and a small markup that kind of got stuffed by the bear market. Right. And then we went into kind of our bear market accumulation and it's getting marked up again. But, the same pattern, you get a day or two of hype and then a huge bleed out as people decide to take life-changing profits for, just because they got airdropped the token. Free money.
And Zoltan has been a member for 5 months. Thank you for that. Said tons of airdrops coming for Cosmos staking, which is why I asked Forrest that question. Because we want you guys to make the best decisions to be able to make the best money, whether you have the airdrops, expect the big drop to come. So take some profits, free money, like Forrest said. And if you are excited about a project like Jupiter, or if you were excited about something like Celestia or insert name here, you know what to look for. Look for that accumulation, as Forrest said. So great alpha there, Forrest. But Rob, any thoughts on what Forrest just said, or any input you want to kind of throw in there?
You get handed a bunch of free cash, take some off the table, exactly what he was saying. Especially if you're in $10,000 plus range. I mean,
but even for some people, a couple grand is their mortgage payment for the month, right?
Yeah, 100%. And not to say that you have to exit your position completely. And we've seen airdrops that have come out where, hey, the Uniswap token was a good example. When that first dropped, the price going into the bull market, especially if we're in this scenario, definitely keep some on the table, because we saw Uniswap. If you basically use their exchange, they came out with their token, airdropped it to all of the Ethereum addresses. And then from there, people were just sitting on tens of thousands of dollars. And if you would have sold right off of the rip when it was like $1, you would have missed out on a lot of gains. So, take some profits. You didn't put any skin in the game to get it in the first place. Take 50% off or something, or whatever number you're happy with. Leave a little behind, and we're in a bull market. These type of projects do tend to rally and get overbought or overhyped as well. So
the thing with crypto is if you can keep your emotions in check and not get too greedy, in a bull market, you can you can close your eyes, throw a dart, and whatever project it lands on, throw $100 and make 10x. Right? As long as you don't get greedy. Obviously, if you're well capitalized, you do your research, you watch shows like Sin City Crypto and our friend Forrest, you're going to be able to make better decisions to get 20, 30, 40 X's and know when to take profits and when to keep some behind. So just understand that there's going to be a ton of money being made. You're going to make a lot of it too. Just don't get too greedy. There's a saying: pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. Right? Don't let yourself get way too greedy to the point where you're stuck in a position to where you run in that circle. And I know you've been in that circle. Man, I should have taken profit. Well, I'm going to wait for it to go back up, and then I promise I'm going to take profits. And then what does it do? Comes back down, and then down, and then down, and then down. Next thing you know, we're in a bear market, and you're holding a bag of a token that's down 95%. Speaking of tokens, but it's not down 95%, it's Polygon. We did do a Polygon video. Make sure to go check that out. It was a really good one. Polygon-matic optimism returns as it teases a bank partnership. And this is the tweet. That's it. January 10th, bank times Polygon. Rob, I guess I'll ask you first. Polygon is currently sitting at, and Forrest, you know what, Forrest, can you pull up a Polygon chart? Polygon, 83.7 cents, Robin. 83.7 cents. You were saying, now I'm not saying this to make fun of you, but you were saying Polygon $1.50 by the end of last year, right? 2023.
Yeah.
I think, you know, for me, my price target for Polygon is that $6 to $8 range. I think you're kind of in the same boat. 83 cents. What is your opinion of risk of putting money in Polygon now versus the potential reward this year and moving forward?
I think it's just one of the top solid projects outside the top 10. And we've seen historically with its movement, when it goes, it doesn't slow down. Now, we did go above the $1 mark. We had a rally from 70 cents, went over $1, and, well, it's pulled back right around the same time that Bitcoin went from 45 back down to 42. And you know what? It's still sitting here at a rebate. Polygon, I just can't explain to you the relevance of Polygon. It is a scalable Ethereum. Ethereum's problems, or the big negatives or drawbacks, is that its transactions, the cost and the throughput is not ideal for day-to-day transactions. It's not ideal for a bull market, which we're going into. And so if you're trying to alleviate some of the stress on the network, you're looking for cheaper transactions, you're looking at the ecosystem of NFTs and DeFi, and you're getting priced out in Ethereum or just bogged out by the transactions, the throughput not being there, you're going to go to to a remedy, right? You're going to go to an alternative. And last bull market, we went to BNB, the smart chain. There was no other options in the Ethereum network. Now you do. So you don't have to leave the Ethereum network. Now, the thing is this is its own layer one. It just leverages the Ethereum network for security. That's it. So if you're a dApp, if you create dApps or you're a developer and you're building on Ethereum, the code is the same. You can pretty much just launch the same damn thing on Polygon and have none of the scaling and throughput issues. And so from a developer, a dApp perspective, it's a no-brainer to launch your platform on Polygon. And if you're a user, there's no rhyme or reason to pay 1,000 times more for a transaction on Ethereum when the same dApp is on Polygon. We've seen it 10x like this in a bear market. No, not 10x in the bear market, but it rallied hard in the bear market. Outperformed Bitcoin back in February, just massively outperformed the rest of the altcoin markets. It outperformed Bitcoin and has been sleeping for almost a year now. Last bull market, it went from 10 cents to $1 and some change without the community, without the dApps. And it's outside the top 10 and it's been sleeping, man. The rest of the altcoin markets have been rallying lately. The other layer ones have been rallying. Avalanche has been on fire. Solana absolutely nuking everything, just crushing it on portfolios. I mean, the only thing that isn't running hard in the top 20 is XRP, and it's got a lawsuit. Everything else is killing it. And Polygon is sliding down and becoming cheaper.
You sold Polygon short. It went from 3 cents to $2.72 in 2021.
And it was well over $1 for
3 cents.
I'm not even talking about the peak. It was well over $1 for the entire bull market. Yeah, 3 cents, man. And I remember I brought up 10 cents because I remember looking at it right before it went parabolic.
January 2021, 3 pennies.
And then what was that first little consolidation?
In 1 year, from 3 cents to $2.50. In 1 year. And that's almost 100x.
And look at that. Look at pull that up. Look at post bull market. It didn't sell off. It's still holding strong, man. It
sold up to 41 cents, right?
Yes,
but it's been creeping up.
Yeah, it did not have the bear market everyone else did. and it is holding strong. That's the reason it hasn't pumped lately, but it's ready. The bags are packed. The partnerships for Polygon are stupid. Starbucks, Nike, Adidas, Disney, the list goes on.
City Crypto.
I could. These are just the ones I'm spinning off the top of my head. You know, they're 20 deep on brands that anybody knows that knows nothing about crypto, and so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how if you have a position in alts, how you
What's
going to
perform? What's going to perform better in this bull market, Polygon or Cardano?
Percentage gains is going to be Polygon.
Okay. Forrest, I asked you for a Polygon chart, my friend. Is this 83 cents? If I want some exposure, if I want to add to my bag, is this a good level that we're finding some support at, or what are you looking at? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so looking at the Polygon chart here, where I start to get excited about is if it gets acceptance above $1 to $1.05. You can see this has just been kind of like the initial, big support region that we pushed up out of on the second leg up last bull market, right? And then once we dropped down below, what's really was capping us, aside from this big kind of deviation here, where we've been kind of struggling to break back up above is that psychological level of about $1 to $1.05. There's also a lot of shorters coming in, right? You can short Matic and maintain a liquidation point. There's a margin pressure level right at about $1.04, and that's where the longs are starting to kind of come back in from when it approaches from above. So this is the key range for me, anywhere between $1 and $1.05. We start to see Polygon get accepted above that level, then I think it can rip to the middle of its range, which was high almost $2, high $1, 170, 180. All the way up to the top of its range, which is up towards 2 to 250, right? So I think Polygon, when it starts moving, it'll probably be a fast mover. But for me right now, it's just kind of chilling out in this range. You could be an accumulator in this range. It's already kind of flipped, back into the bullish side of this range from this deviation down here above 71 cents. So that's a good sign. It's broken this big downtrend line, which is another good sign. But for me, where I really want to add to the Polygon position is once it proves that it can take out this resistance level, I think you're going to start to see some huge markups, some big candles come through for Polygon once we kind of put this, $1 to $1.05 region behind us. How long it's going to take for it to do that, I have no idea. But I'll be watching for when it does, because I do think it's a good long once we flip that into support. I think we'll see acceleration.
And then someone said, someone's like, Forrest, help us out with an airdrop. I did drop the affiliate link if you want, because Forrest, if I'm not mistaken, in the Assisting Research Hub, the research you do, you send out airdrop guides like top to bottom, how to do it, what to do, right?
Yeah, and a note on airdrops, we do have airdrop guides, but most of the big airdrops that we've gotten and that I've gotten are just from using, doing other stuff on chain, like minting Mad Lads or, just minting NFTs, using Jupiter Exchange for other trades and other plays, right? A lot of the stuff is just you get airdrops for being a participant on chain. I'm not a big fan of, even though I do post some airdrop guides, I'm not a big fan of doing like the bare minimum to try to qualify for an airdrop and then like farm the airdrops. I'm a big fan of being somebody that is a participant on chain that these protocols want to reward. And you'll get these airdrops a lot of times just by being somebody who is being, participating and using these protocols. So a lot of the plays that we post and a lot of the research we post, kind of passively, if you participate them, have passively yielded some of these airdrops in the past.
Yeah, and I know a lot of your plays have had substantial gains. So if you guys want to check out the services Forrest has available, I did pin the affiliate link in the chat. In the chat of this live stream. So go check that out. Also, Forrest does a live stream on YouTube as well. Assisting Research on YouTube. We threw that in the comment section as well. And then I do want to go over this piece as well. So, there's not a lot of, there were some people that were not fans of ETH moving from proof of work to proof of stake, fearing that it would become more centralized. Well, this article from Protos.com, high number of Ethereum blocks are censoring US sanctioned users. And here is a number of blocks that are being OFAC compliant post-merge, 42%. So what does that mean? That means if the US government throws you on a restricted list, a black wallet list, so to say, 42% of validators will not validate your transaction. Robin, is this I know we joke all the time, but you're pretty bullish on Ethereum. Is this something that worries you?
Yeah, and I think it's going to get worse, right? Because the staking threshold, how much Ethereum do you need?
32 ETH.
32 ETH. So as the price of Ethereum gets closer to $40,000, as Ethereum's price goes up, regardless of where it ends up landing, as Ethereum's price goes up, it prices the everyday person out of it. And so we've mentioned the big partnerships with Polygon as an example. Well, these companies that have exposure to crypto are also have exposure to Ethereum as well. If you got Polygon, you probably have Ethereum. You're a big company. And if you're a big company, you're just sitting in on the long term, it makes sense to stake it. And so basically the powers are going to consolidate into a smaller amount of individuals, probably companies. And what do companies do? Right? They like to be compliant with governments. They don't want to have any pushback. And so if you're running a stake pool, or if you're validating the Ethereum network with a large amount of Ethereum, and you're a US based company, for example, and the US is saying, hey, don't participate, this wallet address is sanctioned, it would be very hard to convince that company that's based in the US to go against the United States' orders, right? So we know where they're going to vote, and less retail is going to have participation. So it's kind of concerning to me, honestly. I don't have any other insight other than it's going to get worse. I don't know if there's a fix.
Forrest, what are your thoughts, man? Is this concerning to you?
Not from an investment perspective. I underweight centralization. I know a lot of people get all, they start talking about centralization versus decentralization. I think people way overweight that argument in their investment. I think this space trades heavily based on technology, but more so based on narrative, and what's the current narrative, and where's tech moving over a period of time. I'm much less concerned with centralization versus decentralization for the vast majority of my investments. I think you did get to a certain point of, you just need to be decentralized enough. If you need to be decentralized, like the people who are aping meme coins on Solana and they don't care about the centralization of the chain. They're just happy to be on Solana where there's a lot of liquidity and moving money around. The people, I think the vast majority of liquidity in the space just does not care about centralization. I think it's the people that are really into crypto for the right reasons or for the tech are the ones who care, and their voices are oftentimes loud about this thing. But from a price performance perspective and an investment performance perspective, it's always in the back of my mind, but it's not something that I won't make an investment because something's too centralized. If that was the case, you would have missed out completely on Solana because the network went down and they had to reboot it and it was too centralized. Tons of people missed out on a 10, 12x because Solana for a period of time was too centralized. For me, it's not something that I care a lot about. I think most chains are working to be more decentralized over time, and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt in accomplishing that. So I don't know what's going to happen with Ethereum in this particular dilemma that they're facing, but it's not something that I am worried about affecting the price a lot.
For me, as long as decentralization is allowed to live side by side with centralization, I think it's completely fine, right? Some people, like you said, Forrest, they actually like it being centralized. Some people hate it. Fine. Here's a sandbox. We're going to draw a line down the middle. Play on this side, play on this side. You want centralized, go here. You want decentralized, go here. As long as we have those options, as long as it's not the government trying to get rid of everything decentralized and have some sort of leverage or power over decentralized entities or blockchains, I think it's fine. What else is fine is our channel sponsor. They're a fine company. They sponsor our channel, Cam's Blue Wire Tech. If you want to learn how they can help your business grow, visit bluewiretech.com. Gentlemen, great show today. Good stuff. We hope you watching enjoyed the show. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so. Also, for you Caspa fans, got a Caspa video dropping in about 10 minutes. And if you're a member, you get access first. If you want to be a member to get access first, and you want to support the channel, there's a way to do it. Click that join button on your phone, or just click the link in the description of this video and get rerouted to the join button on your phone. Forrest, any parting thoughts before we head into the weekend, the first weekend of 2024? That Bitcoin is going to outperform every altcoin. Go ahead.
Just, deleverage yourself, or the market's going to do it for you. I mean, like, we've seen these big wicks. Don't be the person that zeroes out their account going into a bull market because you had to use 5-10x leverage and try to get greedy. Just, be smart. Just be smart.
Be smart. Speaking of smart, Robin, how you doing, man?
Good.
Just gave you a compliment. There's no back end.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Just straight up.
Yeah, that's it. Wow. Also, guys, go follow us on Twitter at Sistine. We're at Sin City Crypto 1. Go follow Forrest on Twitter at Sistine Research. Post a lot of chart, a lot of alpha. So yeah. And big shout out to our friends here joining us in the studio, Scott and Mario. Where'd they go? We lost them. Oh no, we got them there. There we go. Gentlemen, how's the show? They said I was the best co-host out of me and Robin. So thank you guys for that compliment. Appreciate it. Guys, have a lovely weekend. With that being said, Rocco. Come on, man. You jumped the gun, bro. I couldn't even show my friends in the studio the finger tornado. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know what we here for. Entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in. For big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming hola till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO